also mentioned Bhau Sahib's own caste as Dhangad, all being under the same impression. Full stop. He claims that this is true of all his brothers. Full stop. In fact, he goes on to say all family members are members of the Dhanagar community, and therefore says that he has executed this affidavit, open bracket, in March 2023, close brackets, of his own free will and without coercion, duress, or force. So, next. There are almost identical affidavits by other family members. Next, to say that these affidavits raise more questions than they answer is to put it mildly. Full stop. While we will return to the Basavalingappa frame, it is the factual basis here that must necessarily inform the rest of this discussion. Full stop. It is for this reason that we choose now to take matters, the submissions slightly out of sequence. Full stop. Next, two things are noteworthy about these March 2023 affidavits. Full stop. As we have seen, these petitions have been pending since 2017. The Khilare affidavits and disavowals did not come for another 6 years. Full stop. What is interesting about these affidavits is not what they disclaim, but what they failed to disclaim. Full stop. Next. This is of some consequence because one of Mr. Anturkar's arguments is that the validity certificates were granted to the Khilaris based on documents that are part of this court's record and all of which are prior to or contemporaneous with 1950/1956. These documents are not disclaimed or disavowed in the affidavits that the Khilaris have filed. They are there in the compilation prepared by Mr. Anturkar in the 3945 मध्ये कोण आहे ते ट्रायबल राईट्स कमिटी आहे ते पिटिशनर कोण आहे थांबा ट्रायबल राईट्स प्रोटेक्शन कमिटी full stop. Specifically, Mr. Anturkar points to the documents that are in volume 2 of the multi-part compilation presented by Mr. Anturkar. Let us consider just 3 of these documents. Not all of them are in the best of conditions, but page 367 of volume 2 shows that there are volume thamba मला जरा actually hard copies लागेल मैं बघतो थांब please he reproduce कैसे करना है Mr. Gangal, how are we going to reproduce this at all? Please. All right, very good. That at page 367 is a school leaving certificate in the name of Namdev Tanaji Khilare. Full stop. The entire document is in Devanagari. But in the second entry, it mentions Dhangad brackets Hindu. Full stop. This is not the only document. Full stop. Page 369. Is another document. Full stop. A typed copy is at page 370. Full stop. It is a school leaving certificate in the name of one Ranganath Palhar of 6th May 1955. Full stop. The entry here is Dhangad with the brackets Bharatiya. Full stop. Then at page 400, comma, we find a vigilance report of great vintage. Full stop. We unfortunately do not have a typed copy of this. But when we say it is a vintage, it is a report of 17th August 2001. In the context of an application for a validity certificate, and it is one that examines the supporting documents. Full stop. This again notes this vigilance report is in respect of a validity claim in regard to Subhash Namdev Khilare. Full stop. It refers to the earlier documents. Full stop. Now, what is next? What is the answer to all this? We put this question specifically after having heard both sides at some length. Namely, how did the petitioners propose to deal with these documents, some of great antiquity? Full stop. The answer from Mr. Khambata was that these documents of 1952, 1953, and the vigilance report of 2001 have all been now found to be defective, forged, bogus, and overwritten. Full stop. But when did this happen? Question. Mr. Khambata took us to a revised compilation, a supplementary compilation. Full stop. The compilation mentions a show cause notice issued by the scrutiny committee, Aurangabad, to Subhash Khilare, an order in Sachin Palhar's case, and replies of Khilare as also an affidavit of Ashok Palhar. Next. To say that this compilation is less than impressive is to put it at its mildest. Full stop. There is now apparently a second vigilance report, but this is of 5th December 2023, even while hearings were going on before us, where the allegation now is that the school leaving certificates of the 50s are apparently in different ink with overwriting. In regard to Palhar, at page 51 of this compilation, at page 51 of this compilation, there is a reference to Lakshman Ranganath Palhar and saying that the Dhangad word is in a different ink. Full stop. The letter D is overwritten. Full stop. Next. We can hardly treat this finding as conclusive, particularly when photocopies of the original documents are before us. Full stop. We note, for example, that there is in this revised compilation and this subsequent latter day, LATTER, day epiphany by the authorities, some attempt to say that entries of school entries are overwritten and that a R has been changed to a D. That makes no sense whatsoever. Full stop. It is not even Khilare's case in the affidavits that he has filed in March 2023 that anybody had tampered with those school leaving documents. Full stop. In fact, it is those very documents that were relied on in support of the claim for validity. Full stop. The photocopies that are shown to us, open brackets, for example, page 397, do not, in our view, show unequivocally that there was any such writing. Full stop. We are not required to return a finding on this. Full stop. We have separately in other matters tentatively opined that these validity committees do not have inherent powers of review. Full stop. That has now been concluded by a reported decision of a division bench, of another division bench of this court, that absent a specific conferment of a review power, these committees are not entitled to reopen issues long settled. Full stop. Next, what does this tell us? Question mark. It means that these grounds of review and these actions by these scrutiny committees are, following the decision of the division bench, completely without legal basis. It is not possible to accept as the unvarnished position that the 1952 and 53 documents have been tampered with. Since then until today, nobody has ever suggested this. Full stop. Those who obtained benefit have never said this. Full stop. That they obtained benefit is not in dispute. Full stop. It is only now, well after these petitions were filed, that these disavowals come to be made in this fashion. Full stop. Next. This poses possibly the single biggest problem for the petitioners. It means that the class of Dhangad in 1956 was not a zero-member class on the material that is before us today. Later disavowals are infinitely problematic. Full stop. This would mean that on the basis of some caste scrutiny committee's impermissible review jurisdiction, the entire presidential order and every entry in it would be open to reinterpretation and re-examination 75 years down the road. We do not think that Basavalingappa contemplated any such situation at all. Next. But this is one aspect of the matter. Full stop. A different argument is whether the kind of inquiry that Mr. Khambata proposes is at all permissible on the Basavalingappa frame. Full stop. Next. Okay, we'll continue after lunch.